Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing Bad Education, which, thank God, there is an excellent new release coming out this year, which, obviously we haven't been able to go to the theaters for many reasons, but we got HBO releasing Bad Education starring Hugh Jackman, Allison, Janney, Romano, and a whole bunch of other people who are all excellent, by the way. And this is probably my favorite movie of the year for many reasons. I think its story is incredible. I think its performances are just off the charts. And I think the way it progresses and how it reveals different things remind me a lot of Spotlight. And just, it sucks that the Academy probably won't accept this into the Oscars because they are accepting streaming movies, but only if it had a planned theatrical release. So I guess Trolls World Tour is good for the Oscars, but Bad Education is not. So yeah, that's another topic for another day. But yes, let's just jump right into Bad Education. And if you guys don't know what this movie's about, it's about a school scandal that happens in New York, in Roslyn High School, and this district that involves a bunch of people higher up in the faculty. And it's a very fascinating story. I won't spoil it, even though it is a true story, and I kind of avoid that kind of stuff just because I didn't know the story going in, and it truly baffled me. This movie focuses on the superintendent of that school district, including Roslyn High School, which is played by Hugh Jackman, and he's one of the best actors working today. He's excellent in Logan. I wish he was nominated for that movie along with Patrick Stewart, but he's very underrated in movies like The Prestige, and he's a great actor all around, a great performer, a great musical performer and theater performer, and he is excellent in this movie. And you hear from a lot of people saying that he disappeared into this role, and I would have to lump on more praise for him because he really does disappear into this role. You don't see Hugh Jackman. You see this superintendent who's kind of he has a very complex character because at one time you really want to root for him, and he's very empathetic, and he's a very good guy, and he cares so much about his schools. But then there's some aspects of him trying to cover up some of these things that are happening where, like, okay, this guy's kind of a scumbag. And Allison Janney as well, she's a complete scumbag. And we talked about this thing in my drama diversity class where there's this idea of negative empathy, which is where you kind of empathize with people who are either antagonists or villains of the story, and you still empathize with them because of what they do or what has happened to them in the past. And I think Allison Janney's character, you do empathize with a little bit, even though she's a complete scumbag. She doesn't remember the names of students or remembers what people are doing. She kind of snaps a few times, and she does some pretty terrible things throughout this entire movie, and she's definitely the worst of the people who are causing or who are stealing money from the school. And she's awful, but at the same time, when she does lose her job, which happens pretty early on, you really do feel bad for her, and you feel bad for all this entire situation, especially with Hugh Jackman's character and things that are happening with him. And it's just the dynamic between Hugh Jackman, Allison Janney, and Romano, who is also in this movie playing, I think, the principal of Roslyn High School, or he's also in the faculty. It's just incredible. And the dynamics between these three characters and how they're trying to work around this entire situation, because they're trying to get their school to be the #1 school in the state of New York. And with this scandal being out there and with this student trying to kind of uncover the story, which she ends up doing, it's really fascinating, and the story's progression and when you learn certain things or when certain things happen and the build-up and the character development that happens, I think is all just excellent. Geraldine Viswanathan plays the student who is kind of she works at the newspaper at the school, and she starts talking with Allison Janney, with Hugh Jackman, and they're trying to build this giant skywalk, and she's kind of getting into the budgeting of that and how much money it's costing when she notices that the ceiling is leaking in one of the buildings, and that there's these smaller issues like, why are we building this giant skywalk when all this other stuff really needs the money. And I think she is by far the most intriguing character in this entire movie, especially her relationship with her dad and how he kind of joins in on the investigation. And Alex Wolff is also in this movie, who is in Hereditary, and their dynamic of him being the editor-in-chief and her trying to break this story, and her dynamic with Hugh Jackman, like, if you break this story, this could ruin a lot of things and a lot of people's lives and the entire school district. But what is morally right? And so this movie has a lot of moral debates and a lot of interesting kind of ways how people are trying to manipulate each other to get what they want. And it's fascinating how deep this goes and how insane this entire scandal went and how far up it went. And it's just, I don't know, there's something about this movie and its build-up, and it's how it reveals certain things about its plot and how the things end, especially with the scene with Ray Romano's character and Hugh Jackman and this conversation that they have. Is just excellent. And there's so many different story like things that I can't get into right now because I really want to dive deep into the spoilers of this and the details of what happened. But you just kind of have to sit down, watch this movie, and learn it all for yourself because it really is an experience. Just learning all these things about this entire situation that really was just a terrible thing that happened. And it's kind of weird that, I mean, it did happen in the early 2000s, so I guess this was a big news story, but I never heard anything. But the fact that it broke from a school newspaper and from this girl who just became obsessed with this case was awesome. There was something really, really just invigorating about that. In terms of negatives, I don't really think I have any. I think the pacing's excellent. Like I said, the performances are all great. I felt bad for almost every single character just with the entire situation. I don't have anything bad to say about this movie. I think this is one of the best movies I've seen from HBO or streaming in general, and this is easily the best movie of the year so far. I love this movie. Definitely go check it out if you guys have an HBO account or if you guys just want to get a free trial of HBO Go or HBO Now or whatever it's called. HBO Max is coming out later this month, so check out this movie. I highly recommend it. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say but praise for this movie. So thanks guys for watching this review. Hope you guys enjoy. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews just like this one. I've been doing a lot of streaming movies. I did 3 Netflix movies last week. That was really fun to kind of talk about all of those. And I'm going to be doing some more reviews upcoming here. I think there's a new Netflix movie coming out later today. And I will review all of the Clone Wars series. So definitely subscribe to the channel. Leave a like. Comment below what you guys thought of Bad Education. So thanks guys for watching and I'll see you all in my next one.